वक्त था वक्त मसीहा न किसी और का वक्त मैं ना आता तो कोई और ही आया होता.
Guys, we're running out of time. I really want to squeeze Kahoot in, but just before that, Saqib has prepared another Hazim Asimod's book. So let's get some knowledge from that, and it's always good to learn from Hazim Asimod's books. So he's just gonna go through a quick presentation, and then inshallah we'll go to Zaryab for the Kahoot at the end and give it and close it off for this meeting, inshallah. Saqib, Jazakallah. Can you let us know what book you've studied today or this week, and what are we going to learn, inshallah?
Assalamu alaikum. The book that I've chosen for this week is Blessing of Prayer. Yeah, the date was published on 3rd April 1993. Introduction. Blessing of Prayer is a book by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, published in 1893. It was written in the rejection of Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan's view that there is no such thing as the acceptance of prayer, and that prayer is no more than a form of worship. Promised Messiah proclaims that Allah hears and accepts the supplication of believers, which are offered in humanity and their sincerity, and that the acceptance of prayer sets in motion its own chain of causes, which culminates in the fulfillment of the objective prayed for. Leadership. Sir Said Ahmad Khan was a great leader of the Indian Muslims whose valuable services in the field of education and politics cannot be denied. When he tried to improve the religious state of his nations, however, his efforts went astray. The tremendous onslaught of materialism against religion at the time called for a spiritual public figure of high stature who could prove the truth of religion in the face of the modern philosophy. Sir Said was not such a man of God. He was thus unable to withstand the tremendous tide of his materialism, and ended up agreeing with the material philosophy, which said that revelation has no external source. It is merely a sincere thought arising from within one's own heart. The history. According to this theory, one's supplication are only for one's own satisfaction. There is no acceptance of prayer by the Almighty. Unfortunately, these teachings render religion meaningless because they reduce divine revelations to human inspirations and negate the purpose of all acts of devotion and prayer. There is no sense in trying to grow closer to God who does not respond to any call for help or plea for mercy. Summary. The primary and the outstanding measure for an exact commentary of the heavenly Quran is the declaration of the Quran itself. One ought to bear well in intellect that the heavenly Quran isn't like other books that are secondarily upon unessential sources for the verification of or revelation of their truth. The sacred Quran is like a perfectly adjusted structure, the complete elements of which are distributed by the relocation of the single piece. The sacred Quran has no verity that's not reinforced by at slightest 10 or 20 declarations contained inside itself. The model is a translation of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. There can be no question that our beloved and adored Prophet ﷺ was the one who best understood the sacred Quran. In this way, in the event that an interpretation made by the sacred Prophet ﷺ is accessible at that point, a Muslim is duty bound to acknowledge it without any hesitation or reservation. Something else, he will show up to be weak of confidence and beneath the spell of reasoning. The basis is the translation of companions of the heavenly Prophet ﷺ. There's no question that the companions who were the primarily to inquire the light of the sacred Prophet ﷺ and were the first inheritors of his information. Allah, Allah favored them liberally and made a difference them in their understanding for their practice what they have preached. Um, the basis is to plan upon the implications of the sacred Quran with the purity of one's possesses himself. Since purity of the self includes a certain fondness with the sacred Quran, such an individual recognizes these truths and smells them, and his heart cries out that his undoubtedly is the genuine way. The light of his heart is an amazing model of assessing the truth. Unless an individual is blessed with his quantity, his quality, and treads on the limit way, which the Prophet ﷺ has have tread, it is, as it were, sensible that we ought to abstain from boldly and self-importantly expecting the part of a commentator of the Holy Quran. The model is the Arabic vocabulary. Since the Holy Quran itself has given sufficient meanings for its understanding, response to Arabic vocabulary seems unnecessary. But there is no question that it makes a difference in enhancing our understanding and makes some of the time. When we counsel the vocabulary, our consideration is drawn to some hidden nuances of the sacred Quran and we discover some riddles. The sixth basis of the understanding, the spiritual order, is the understanding of physical range, for there is no total agreement between the two. The seventh model is the disclosure allowed to the Holy Quran and the dreams. This measure comprehends all the other criteria, since he who is allowed the disclosure of all the qualities of the Prophet as he takes after conclusion. Haji Mirza Ahmad Sahib of Qadian hated all such beliefs. It was his claim that he was a recipient and Wahi that came from God in the form of definite words. He had forcibly supported his claim in Barani Ahmadiyya by means of rational arguments and his own observations and experiences, and can continue to give proof for it in all his writings. He felt that the need to write a complete book on the acceptance of prayers. And on April 20th, 1993, he published a book on this topic entitled Barakat Dua, The Blessings of Prayer. In this book, he has given strong arguments to support the fulfillment of prayer by Allah the Most High, and has presented his own person as a witness, testifying to the truth of the phenomenon as a result of his personal experiences. In this regard, he has also listed all those means by which a person can attain the level at which his supplications are accepted by the Almighty. Sir Said Ahmed Khan, who was also alive at the time, was generally the person addressed throughout the book, and he was especially invited at the end of the witness. No, he was especially invited at the end to witness some instances of the fulfillment of Hazrat Mirza Sahib prayers. Yet Sir Said gave no response to it and maintained complete silence, or he may possibly have accepted its wisdom in its heart. Allah is the best knower. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. Jazakallah, Saqib. Like I said, it's always good to, maintain a connection with Hazrat Masih Maud's books, and Saqib Masha is doing a great job. Keep it up, and let's keep doing as many books as we can. Barakat Dua is a very small book, guys, not many pages. So I do encourage people to read it, because as we are in lockdown now, people are focusing more on prayers, especially with families. So do try to just, every day or whenever you can, just pick up a book or go on your phone and read a few lines or a page, or as much as you can, because it does really hit you. And sometimes when you read something, you start to realize how amazing Hazrat Masih Maud's books are, and how much knowledge he has passed on to all of us. It's just a matter of just making the effort. We're trying our best on this side to show you what's included in the book. But until you pick up the book yourself or read the book yourself, you will never ever attain that knowledge as much as when you just read it yourself. So Jazakallah again, really appreciate it, and